Once again, a fantastic Sunday morning, dear President, fellow members, and guests. Welcome to Meadows Toastmasters Club. Toastmasters Club, founded by Ralph Medley in 1924, which has served 4 million people in 145 countries through its 16,000 plus clubs. I would like to begin by stating the mission of our Toastmasters Club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett says that one skill will boost your career value by 50%. That skill is public speaking. He was terrified of public speaking. He was so nervous, in fact, that he would arrange and choose his college classes to avoid having to get up in front of people. And I don't have to tell you how he conquered the fear. He proudly displays his Toastmasters membership certificate in his office even till today. Well, some rules to be respected during the meeting. Please mute your audio unless you're the speaker. Please sit in a bright and comfortable place and make sure you can see the camera at your eye level. I request all the members to do an audio and video check before the meeting, especially if you're a speaker or a role taker. Kindly refrain from movements that distract the speaker. In case if you need to move, please turn off your video before doing so. And last but not the least, some of the topics that are highly entertaining to some members may not be appropriate for other audiences, and hence be a little sensitive while talking about subjects like politics, religion, etc. And please help me welcome Toastmaster Ganesh, the presiding officer for today's meeting. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Toastmaster Srinivas, for that wonderful introduction to a great Sunday morning, as you rightly said. I just had a couple of announcements before we get on with the meeting for today. And that's one is the District 92 has an awards function at 2 p.m. today. And I'm not sure if some of you are attending, but by all means, please take the opportunity to meet a lot of other Toastmasters and represent our club as well. Yeah. Secondly, I just wanted to tell everybody that we have collected the feedback from all of you. And as an XCOM, we are looking at it and we will be incorporating certain features in our sessions going forward. Yeah. I would urge all the Toastmasters to really get into the pathways. And I have done it myself plenty of times. And if you go through the process, it's indeed a very enriching learning experience. Yeah. Last but not the least, please ensure that you submit your nominations for the Leadership Development Program by July 31st. And I understand it's a very good program lasting for a year. Yeah, welcome to all of the guests and thanks to some of you who have introduced yourself. I know you may have come with some expectations. I hope we meet them. We'd be very happy to take your feedback as well at the end of the session. So please feel free to contribute and participate as if you're a member. There's absolutely no difference. So without further ado, it's a great pleasure to invite Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Apur, a well-read bibliophile. And it's great to have him talk about the theme of the day, which is rest and recovery. So over to you, Toastmaster Apur, and welcome.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh. I will share my screen and we will begin in a second. Screen visible?
Yeah, definitely.
Visible, yeah.
Cool. So what we are going to talk about is rest and recuperation, especially about anti-fragile healing, which is basically how do you come back stronger from whatever was weakening you. So first problem that we have in, at least in India and these days, and people in our age group, is people burning the midnight oil, like people working till late nights, partying till late nights, or just being awake till late nights, right? Sleep deprivation is a massive problem in the world today, especially amongst Indians, because we are by nature really hardworking, at least compared to the West, right? So now my question, I'm going to leave the floor open to any one of you. Please feel free to come off mute and talk about when was the last time you actually faced this issue where you had a sleep deprivation for a very long time. Has it been the case with any of you?
Yeah, hi, Toastmaster Apoor. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please. Z.
Okay, so as you said that this is something which sleep deprivation, sleep apnea is a very very prominent among the young generation, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because last May I have had a personal tragedy just because of this, and I wanted to share this so that all the Toastmasters here and the people understand this is not something which is just a fad. It is very thing happening in India, and as you said, Apurva, that the sleep we are very hardworking people. Last May, my elder brother's single son didn't sleep for 2 3 days, and unfortunately, he died in his sleep because his body didn't was not able to react to the problem what it was having. So this is the something a personal tragedy happened last May, and I wanted to share this to make sure and ensure all the people and Toastmasters here do understand that it is something which we need to tell our young generation that this is not something to be taken very lightly. And that's the reason I'm sharing this here. Over to you, Apoor.
Apurva, are you on mute?
My apologies. Thank you, Toastmaster Shashi, for sharing such a personal story, and we are sorry for your loss. So, coming to this, why do we feel that we can sleep later? Oh, I've worked, I've done a little sleep, and that should be enough. Probably because many of us compare ourselves to our college days, like we used to sleep like 2 hours, 3 hours max, 2 hours, 3 hours maximum, and still go to college and attend the entire days in class. But the thing is, at that point of time, you were the audience, right? You are a consumer of knowledge. You're not a producer of anything at that point of time, right? So that's a very wrong standard to have against. Plus, there's another problem is that we have a couple of friends, all of us who know, who are basically they don't sleep a lot. People like me, like I really require only about 6 hours of sleep. Now, a lot of people might not be okay with it, but there is a thing. So there is a genetic mutations in the genes DEC2 and NPSR1. I don't know what those are. They're just there in the paper I read. So approximately 3% of our population actually has this mutation. So what this does is within 3 to 6 hours, these guys get all the sleep they need. And if you see on the right hand side, I have a couple of famous names. You will recognize probably all of them. And okay, these guys have used their the extra 5 or 6 hours that they get per day from not sleeping, and they've actually applied it in productive capacities and made headlines in the world. But here's this thing: not all of us are like that, right? If we chase these people for like you try to sleep only 3 or 6 hours a day, within a very short span of time, we'll be burnt out. And that is not a thing I want any of us to have. But the thing is, we sometimes need to, like, for example, there's a pressure in office, right? At that point of time, you need to work, let's say maybe till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I think all of us here have at least pulled a 13 or a 16 or a 15-hour day, at least once in our work life, right? And if that happens for a continuous long time, it becomes even worse for us. And it's office, right? When the pressure situation happens, that is when you're expected to perform, because all the accolades that you will probably achieve in the entire year will pale in comparison to that 1 week where you stepped up. And that is what we think. It is the hamster wheel of the corporate world. But so this is not about how you have to sleep more and this and that. You guys already know it. You are definitely high functioning adults. You know how the world works, how your body works. My entire point of this PMOD session will actually be about, okay, you don't have time to sleep, not a problem. You don't have time to recover, again, not a problem. how do we get the maximum amount from the little sleep that we are getting? Right. So this is what we're going to talk about in the next session. Right now, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to give the podium to who's the speaker number one is who's it?
Apur, perhaps we can introduce the general evaluator.
Right, sorry, my mistake. So general evaluator is whom?
It's me.
Okay, okay. Toastmaster Swapnil, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apu. So it's been a good day. I was out and I feel like the weather is getting better and better. So today's season, I want to tell you something which I learned and by Apu too. You should wake up early in the morning, else it will ruin it. Actually, yesterday I slept at 3 o'clock. I was playing game and I end up waking at 9:30. So this is the worst in case. What you are saying, everything Apu. So as a general evaluator, I will evaluate the whole meeting and make it better for the next time. And I'll give in the end, I'll give all the feedback which is general to everyone or to the meeting or to the session because we are in the group. And for adding to that, I have 3 people who can help me to give it in a better way. First, who is our yeah. So we have our counter role, Srinivas. Over to you, Srinivas.
Swapnil, we don't have timer and grammarian today. Our counter will be done by Toastmaster Monica. Aparna, maybe Toastmaster Aparna can do the grammarian role. Toastmaster Monica, you can explain your counter role.
Can you please?
I'll be the R counter. I'll be taking up the R counter role. So I'll be counting or making note of everyone who's used the word R or any repetitive words.
And oh, thank you, Monica. Apu will be our timer role. Over to you, Apu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. Public speaking is also about being terse, to give your maximum effect in the minimum time available, but also to use the entire time available to you. To give you insight into the length of time you are taking, I will be the timer role. So for prepared speeches, it will be 5, 6, and 7, where at 5 minutes will be the green background, 6 there will be a yellow background, and red will be shown at the 7th minute. 30 seconds is the grace period given. So anyone who speaks over 7 minutes and 30 seconds, they'll be disqualified. For our table topic session, it will be 1, 1.5, and 2. Green at 1, yellow at 1.5, red at 2. Best of luck, everybody, and over to you, Toastmaster Swapnil.
Thank you, TM Apu.
Sorry to interrupt here. Did somebody just put me the grammarian right now?
Yes.
Because I'm actually in the car and I will not be able to take down any notes or anything.
Oh shit.
That's okay. We can skip the grammarian role.
Okay, done.
Okay. So that's my work. So over to you, Apu. Whom I need to give? Hello.
Yeah, back to me.
Yeah. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil, and for telling us that you have actually been sleep deprived right now. Kind of helps make my case today. So let's talk about, let me start sharing the screen again. Tell me when you guys can see it. Visible?
Yes.
Cool. So first is, let's talk about sleep cycle. So not all sleep is created equal. there are four basic components to your sleep. First is your, let's just call it the light sleep. This is the first few moments, like the first 15 minutes of when you're trying to get into sleep, right? Your eyes feel drowsy, your body kind of slows down. You might have that knee-jerk reaction at this point of time. And basically, this is your body kind of slowing down. This is the shutdown phase where it's kind of shutting down every thought process and everything, right? Next is stage two. Stage two is light sleep. This is where you actually spend the maximum amount of your entire sleep, right? So you are into like the lightest sleep, and then you go into if I can use annotations here. Okay, so if this is the timeline, so initial of your sleep, initially you are at this stage, which is very high. You're basically in the light sleep, and then you go into this light sleep. This is the one where you spend most of the time, and then you go to deep, and then you come back into the light one, and then you again go into the deep, and then come back into the light one, right? Because your body, for whatever reason, it cannot stay in the deep sleep for too long. It has to come out, and you kind of cyclically go all through until you are awake all over again. So now the question is, and then there is deep sleep, which is basically, this is the one actually I want to talk about, because this is where you have tissue repair and growth happening. This is the one where you actually rest, recover, recuperate, and you get that fresh feeling when you wake up the next day. It's that. It's in your deep sleep. Further, if you allow yourself to get even more relaxed, then you go into REM sleep, which is called rapid eye movement. This is the one where you get dreams. This is the one where your short-term memories are pushed into long-term memories, right? And when you notice this is where brain waves are a little slowed down and your heart beating is slowest. But because you're dreaming, right? Your heart starts pulsing a little bit more. So the idea is right now what the stage is, let us say you're sleeping for 8 hours, which is actually a big stretch. That's right. So let's say basically you're spending something like 15 minutes here, which is only 25% of an hour. Just call it 15. Light sleep, this is where you're spending close to 6 to 7 hours. And this is generally where you're spending 1 to 2 hours. Now, as adults, we need 2 hours of minimum deep sleep every day. But the thing is minimum, right? This is the one that you need to be a functional human being, like just like barely functional human being. That's like saying, yeah, like how the government of India has a regulation where like you need to be educated up until the 8th standard, right? Just because you're educated till the 8th standard, that means you can read, write, and speak the different languages. But that doesn't mean that you are actually educated, considering all of us here are at least graduates or postgraduates, or some are even doctors. So the idea that I have is, what if we could, let's say, and when you're totally sleeping only about 6 to 7 hours, let us say, then the time you're spending in deep sleep is only about 1 hour, 1 to 1.5. My entire presentation's purpose today is so that even if you guys are sleeping for 6 hours a day, let us say you don't have to, but let us say you are, for some reason, you're going to, then how about having 3 hours or 4 hours of deep sleep even from this? And that is possible. We're not talking about magical fairy tale woo-woo stuff here. There will be things you can do to do that, right? And let me just clear this and go ahead. And the way to do that is, how do you maximize deep sleep? So I have a chart written down here. Basically, you have hard to easy, and expensive to inexpensive. Let's talk about the expensive and easy ones first, because there are too few. Better mattress, having those mattress from the expensive companies where like every mattress is about 15,000 bucks and all. Those mattresses give you a better comfort sleep. It relaxes your body a whole lot more. But this is not where you get the most bang for a buck, right? Weighted banklets, amazing things. Basically, you have the feeling of coziness and comfort, like a baby being swaddled in those, warm cloths, like we were children. That is what the feeling this weighted blanket gives. It's good. Melatonin tablets. Again, I would not suggest it, but it is one of the things. Melatonin is basically the hormone that makes you sleep. So when you take a melatonin tablet, your first 1 hour of sleep is just crashed into like 15 minutes. So you have in about 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you go to sleep. Expensive and hard activity trackers. All of us have activity trackers on our watches, right? Most of us have it anyway. Every activity tracker comes with this app. The app has the sleep schedule thing. So I would like, if you guys can, go into your app every day and check out what was your sleep like. If it's bad, why is it bad? If it's good, why is it good? This will help you kind of realize, okay, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. White noise, like having a white noise generation, like speaker on, or let's say even the fan on while you're sleeping, it gives your ears, like whatever normal sound, music, other else is coming, white noise kind of dampens it and overrides it, prevents your brain from thinking about these small little sounds, gives you better deep sleep. But again, this is not where your most bang for your buck comes in. The most bang for your buck actually comes in the inexpensive section. Let's talk about what's hard. Sleep schedule is hard. Like that is the exact problem we are discussing here in the first place. I mean, you can have one thing. If you can't have, like, let's say, wake up on time and sleep on time, at least have wake up on time set. Like be it weekend or weekdays. Let's say you're waking up at 7 o'clock every day. Wake up at 7 o'clock every day. Be it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Going to sleep on the same time is hard. I mean, I'm the one who's talking about this, and I am myself not able to practice it. But I still try to go to sleep at close to 10 o'clock as possible. That is just my time. This will be hard for people like Toastmaster Swapnil here, who is addicted to tea. Like you can have like 10 tea a day. But the thing is, stop caffeine 7+ hours before you go to sleep. Why? Because caffeine has it's basically a stimulant, and your body does not get rid of the stimulants for about 7 hours. So caffeine is a problem when you try to sleep. Again, you can still go to sleep after drinking tea, but it's the deep sleep that we're trying to maximize. For that, you can't have caffeine at least 7 hours. No screens 1 hour plus. This is something I practice every day. 1 hour before I know I'm supposed to go to sleep, I shut off my phone. I want to shut off my phone. I close my phone. I close my laptop. No TV. Not even my trusted Kindle. No screen. And the reasoning behind this is all of the screens have blue light in them, and blue light is the light which keeps us awake, and which is why you should not have any screen time at least 1 hour before you go to sleep. If possible, if you have those white tube lights and the yellowish tube lights, switch to the yellow tube lights, or at least have those on in the last 1 hour. Little carb and no sugar for dinner. Now this is not to do with sleep, because eating a lot of carbs and eating a lot of sugar and then you get a crash, right? It helps you sleep. But the thing is, sugar makes you kind of wake up in the middle of the night to go out and pee. Now, when you get up to go and pee, there is a time involved before and after where you come out of deep sleep, and then it takes a while again to go back into deep sleep. So if you can avoid sugar for dinner, that'll be great. Carbs is just does the same thing, but carbs is bad anyway for you. No alcohol for 3+ hours. This is a problematic thing for all of us who actually like to have a drink on a weekend. Try not to have alcohol 3+ hours before you go to bed. And the reasoning behind this is, alcohol, again, it knocks you out, but it doesn't let you go into deep sleep, which is why right, when you drink a lot of alcohol, you go blackout drunk and you're not able to form memories. It messes with the memory formation process. Meditation is just good overall. It reduces stress. The less stress you have, the more deep sleep you'll get, which is why meditation works for you in not just this, but other ways as well. Let's talk about, I'll just quickly wrap up on the easy and eye mask. Eye mask is basically, they're inexpensive. They come up about $200 a pair. And the thing about them is they block all light when you're sleeping. So humans are evolved to sleep in the pitch black darkness of a cave. Right now, even let's say the all out light is too much for you. Put this on and you'll increase your deep sleep by 30 minutes minimum and maximum 1 hour. I've tried that. It's amazing. Warm bath before bed. Taking a warm bath before bed, it cleanses all the toxins from your skin that have collected over the day. So it relaxes your skin. Apart from that, after having a warm bath, your heart rate automatically slows down. So you remember the first phase of sleep where it wants your heart rate to slow down? This is where it will happen automatically. This is a cocktail used by many like Tim Ferriss and all these. It's basically apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons honey, and a bit of hot water. I'll be sharing this list with you guys later. If you guys want to use, please don't take notes right now. But yes, this is an amazing thing to use. If it works for you. I don't like the taste, so that's why I've put it, I don't use it, but if you guys want to, go ahead. Dinner. Dinner is one of the most important meals of the day. 3 hours before. So basically, when you're digesting your dinner, right, your body's putting a lot of time and energy and effort into digesting your meals. Which is why when you've eaten a lot, it takes a while to go to sleep. More fiber is basically, there's a lot of science to do with this. I don't really understand it, but I get it. More probiotics, like stuff like, tofu and sauerkraut and dahi and any of these achar, these fermented stuff, they have a lot of probiotic bacteria in it. These go into your gut and makes your gut relaxed. Any part of your body that's more relaxed helps you get into a better sleep, which is why probiotics are good. Exercise 30 minutes a day. This is anyway good for you. But apart from that, what exercise does is it gives your muscles something to be tired about. Right? Let's say you exercise in the morning, it's okay. Your muscles will want to relax and sleep down. And the moment you let them go to sleep, they'll go to sleep. So these are techniques to kind of maximize your deep sleep. And I hope all of you guys use them. I'll share this with you guys later on. So, and I hope all of us get better sleep. So I think I'll stop sharing now. And over to you. I think the first speaker of the day is, who's like Toastmaster Shashi. You'll be evaluating Toastmaster Ganesh, yes?
Yes.
Toastmaster Srinivas.
Okay, fine then. Toastmaster Srinivas, please, as evaluator number 1 for Ekta, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apu. Today, Toastmaster Ekta, as part of dynamic leadership, is giving her L1 P2 speech. The purpose of this project is to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. And the speech time is for 5 to 7 minutes. I will be the timer as well. And over to you, Toastmaster Apu.
Please, Toastmaster Ekta, could you come off mute and for you to take the stage? What is the title of your speech, though?
The same as the title of the day.
Rest and
recovery. Cool, then.
Toastmaster Ekta, rest and recovery, Toastmaster Ekta. Over to you.
Awesome. So let me know if you can hear me properly and see me.
You are audible and visible.
Okay, awesome. So today the topic is rest and recovery. So I'm going to break it down into 4 parts. First, we'll talk more about rest, and then we'll move on to recovery, and then how rest is dependent on recovery, and the 4th one being how recovery is dependent on rest. So, and feel free to add your, I will ask some questions in between, maybe just to make it more interactive. You can raise your hands or give a few Zoom emojis. It's helpful when the session is on, right? So the first one would be rest. So how many of you in this 2 years of COVID period understood the importance of rest in a case where rest is okay for some time, but if we give you the whole 24 hours and no work, the business is shut, how many of you still feel that you rested well? You can raise your hand. Okay, great. So honestly, during the COVID times, especially during the start when everything was on halt, people had a lot of time to give rest to the body. But at the same time, people couldn't rest much because the mind was not good. So rest is not always about sleeping and resting your body, but it's more about making sure the mind is more fresh. Have you seen days where there is a marriage at home? We don't eat properly, we don't sleep properly, and we don't do anything properly. But at the same time, our mind is so happy and elevated that even if somebody asks us to do 10 different things, We'll make sure that we complete it because, oh, it's my sister's marriage. Oh, it's my brother's marriage. So having a happy and calm state of mind is important. That's where Toastmaster Apurv, when he spoke about meditation, when he spoke about exercises, when he spoke about making sure that you're doing enough to to activate your body so that at the end of the day, your body and mind both can rest. During the office hours that we have, we do a lot of churning of our mind, our intellect, our memory, but our body is sitting at one place on one chair for straight 8 hours. So it's important that you invest some time for your muscles, and already you're investing 8 to 9 hours on your mind. So give it a proper rest. Now talking about the second thing, recovery. So recovery is not just required when you're ill. So recovery is an everyday activity. For example, my body is super tired and I'm not able to grasp anything now. My memory is shut. My intellect is not working because my mind is tired. What should I do? I should sleep every day, like Toastmaster Apurv mentioned, in the cycle of 1.5 hours. Either you sleep for 6 hours or you sleep for 7.5 hours, depending on your age and requirement. But recovery should not be an option only when your rest is less, right? If you make sure you're consistent with your rest, recovery automatically happens. That's what we have seen in these COVID times. People who had a proper schedule, people who had a great immunity level, didn't require a lot of recovery at the end, right? But people who had everything jumbled up, there's no work-life balance, there is no sleep timing, there is no habit of eating healthy food. That's where recovery became a big challenge throughout the world, not just India. So now that we talked about rest and recovery, let's see how rest is dependent on recovery. So many a times when I personally have cold, I have observed that at least for the initial 3 days, even if I sleep for say 18 to 20 hours, I don't feel well rested. Yes, so recovery is dependent on rest, but at the same time, it is dependent on a consistent rest period rather than resting after taking a sick leave from your office. So even if you're working on weekdays and you have a Saturday, Sunday holiday, make sure still the whole week is more consistent and you're not dependent on Saturdays and Sundays to release all the stress that you have collected in the 5 days. That's where rest is dependent on recovery. And how is recovery dependent on rest? So this is what I have observed is when you try to exert yourself more, when you actually need to recover, that's where your body will not recover at all. So just after I was out of COVID, it took me just 7 to 8 days during the second wave. And there were 2 people in my house who suddenly were affected by it. And because I had to make sure that we are not going out, we are not bringing food from outside, we have to manage everything inside, I did not focus on my recovery period. And that's where it took me around 1 year to recover from COVID. So whenever you feel that your body needs rest, you have to make sure that you give to it. Otherwise, you will have some repercussions that maybe it's difficult to recover even if you sleep for 9 hours, 10 hours per day. So I have a last sharing where this is a book that I got, Sleep Your Way to Success. So if you can do read, it would be a great learning and you can improve your health, body, mind, everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ekta. Amazing speech. But I'll leave the feedback to Toastmaster Srini. Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Ekta. So next up is our Toastmaster Shashi for Toastmaster Ganesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apurv. And I welcome a very senior speaker and the one who did my evaluation, and I'm going to do his Toastmaster Ganesh speech level 3, speech elective. and raising a toast. Uh, Raising a toast, Toastmaster Ganesh.
Before I start, so just a point here. So timer, this is a 3 to 4 minute speech. Yeah. And this is that level 3 speech 2 for raising a toast, delivering social speeches. Yeah. And this speech is about a toast to a professor who's got a big award or who's retiring. That. Okay. That's the background. Start. Okay, it's my honor and privilege to be raising a toast to Professor Rex, one of our most cherished professors and loved and popular professors who've taught us. Rudyard Kipling once said in his poem, I have 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names were what, which, and when, and how, why, and who. He probably forgot the 7th element, and probably the most important one. The person who helps you to ask these questions. And once you ask them, how do you find the answers to them? That's where Professor Rex, who represents the generation of mentors and guidance, comes along. And he has been our guide for a lifetime. I recall attending his classes on heat transfer during our engineering days. I remember the way he used to explain so patiently again and again, such that all the concepts really come into our head. The only problem, though, was that when he entered the class, our body temperature would rise. He would expect our marks in Fahrenheit, 96, 97. We used to get them in centigrade, 37 and 38. And that used to be a problem all the time. Going on, he used to always have the small and subtle tricks to ensure that all of the students are always alert. For instance, he would suddenly slip by and say, there will be a surprise quiz on Monday. And if you are attentive, you can catch that and really, do well. Or once he said, I recollect, take a copper rod of any metal. He used to see if all of the students would actually get those minor subtle variations in what he said, and keep us alert and focused all the time. In an institute where an attendance was not mandatory, his classrooms were overflowing. The students used to sit on the window ledges, the benches having been full, and diligently take notes. Such was the popularity of Professor Rex. Even today, every day morning when I have my hot coffee, I look at it, whether it's hot enough, and I'm reminded of heat transfer and Professor Rex. We are eternally grateful to him for being a part of our life. And there is not a single day that goes by without, alluding to Professor Rex. He is one of the very few professors who could teach all of the subjects in any branch of engineering, particularly chemical. He could stand in for anybody who was absent or unwell. And that was the great approach and that was the great thing about it. The way he used to trigger our curiosity, trigger our mind to curiosity, that is absolutely testimony by Rudyard Kipling in his beautiful poem. So please join me, everybody, and it's a pleasure on behalf of the class to raise a toast to Professor X. We wish you the very best in your post-retirement days and the best of health. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh. I love the humor part. Copper of any metal. That was nice.
Thank you.
Good. So I think it goes back to me now. Right. So this is going to be the section 3 of the Tmod. Tell me when you guys can see the screen again.
Yep, I can see it.
Cool. So we spoke about maximizing deep sleep. I have a question for all of you guys once. Do any of you actually go through any of these or actually follow any of these? And what are your experiences with it?
I would like to speak.
Go ahead.
So I've been following this from past 4 to 5 years, and it's not always consistent. Sometimes, sometimes I really like to be awake till 2 and watch movies and sit with friends. And I've observed the difference in the sleep pattern and the quality of the sleep. So if I sleep late and wake up late, the amount of rest I get is not enough. And if I do all the activities that you mentioned, not using using a yellow light and not using the devices, taking a bath, all these things, then even if I sleep for 5.5 to 6 hours, I feel well rested throughout the day. So I believe all these things we don't know it's magical, but they work a lot.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ekta. So Toastmaster Priyanka, you're also into health and fitness, right? You would have definitely tried some of these things. Could you talk about your experiences?
Yeah, actually that you told no wake up time same for every day.
Yeah, the sleep schedule.
I anyway need to follow that
Mhm.
because I go to office early in the morning. So because of that, I decided to follow that. And yeah, no, few of this I try to follow, but because of that dinner and all, because of that time schedule, I don't follow every day. Sometimes it is like before just sleep, but I try to sleep by like I wake up by 5 o'clock. I try to every day. I thought I will sleep by 10:30, but it go beyond that. And if I like don't take at least 6 to 7 hours sleep, I don't feel the whole day I feel I am tired. But yeah, if I follow this few things, I think the 6 to 7 hours also should be okay.
Makes sense. Thank you. So Toastmaster Srini, how about you? I mean, like you can have a perspective of like a family man who's got kids and a dog and everything. So what's your perspective on this? Toastmaster Srini, you there?
Sorry, Toastmaster Apur, I was actually writing the evaluation. Please come again with the question, please.
Do you want us to wait for a minute? Like I can come back to you if you want to finish the evaluation first.
That's fine. It's going to take time.
Okay.
Tell me, what is
So
the question? I'm sorry.
My question was, since you are a family man who's got like kids and a dog and work and business and farm and house, like a long list of laundry that you have to do every day. My question is like, how do you try to maximize your sleep and get the most recovery?
That's always challenging, especially with the COVID. The sleep pattern, everyone's sleep pattern got disturbed. What I used to do before COVID was shut down my mobile at 9 o'clock. Whatever is the call, I don't pick up. So all my close relatives or close family members, they have my landline number. Otherwise, I don't use mobile after 9 o'clock. And 11:30 is the time that I switch off everything and I read before going to sleep, and I sleep off. That's the pattern I used to follow. But after COVID, everything got changed. The food, eating habits, resting habits, the work hours, everything is changed. So I couldn't help there. I follow most of the ones that you've shown me. I follow those. While it's very difficult on a weekend to abstain yourself from not doing stuff that will disturb your pattern. Rest of the days I follow. However, I'm sorry. So if you don't have, I don't have a lot of things that you mentioned. I'm not a businessman and I don't have a lot of things. I keep my life very simple and my expectations are not much. I don't crave for things that I don't really worry about. So things work out fine and I sleep well. Thank you.
Yeah, I love. I thought you had a farm and everything, right? I could not visit it the last time. Anyway,
The farm is to put me into sleep, not to give me extra work.
okay, I'm going to add that to the hard and expensive column here. Buy farm. Right. Okay, then. Thank you, Toastmaster Shini. So now we'll go to the next section of the day, and that is the table topic session. So please, everybody, give a big round for Toastmaster Priyanka, who will come in and pull us up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atul. Yeah, today I will be taking that table topic session. Table topic enables a member to develop.
Priyanka, can you be a little louder?
Okay.
We couldn't able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Not loud and clear.
Loud, fine. Okay. Table topic enables a member to develop the skill of impromptu speaking. Table topic help train members to quickly organize and express their thought. This will be for 1 to 2 minute session. Participant can speak within this time. Timer will keep track of the time. So I will start table topic session. So anyone want to come first?
Toastmaster Aparna.
Sorry, Apurv, I missed the question.
No. Question have not asked yet. I am telling you want to participate first.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, please do. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, Priyanka.
So as the topic is for rest and recovery, I try to take some of this topic. So this is first one. Morning tired, afternoon dying for rest, night can't sleep. Yeah, you can talk about that.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Like this is one kind of morning tired, afternoon dying for rest, night can't sleep.
This exactly describes what I'm going through right now. So I don't think I can remember the last time I slept for even 5 hours continuously, like a peaceful and a restful sleep. So yeah, been going through some personal challenges, and because of that, I think I'm not able to sleep. So it makes me pretty tired in the mornings when I wake up, even though I've been lying on bed for like 8 hours or sometimes even 10 hours. When I wake up in the morning, it still feels like, it's, what can I say? It's like exhausting, pretty tiresome. And I feel I want to go back to bed, but then I can't do that because I have work to finish and I need to log into my system. So that makes my mornings pretty tiresome. And by the time I reach afternoon, after food especially, I feel a little drowsy. And then even if I try and go to sleep, I don't get sleep because the minute I reach the bed, my mind keeps wandering here and there, and I keep getting multiple thoughts on multiple topics, too many things on my mind. So I don't get to sleep in the afternoons either. And by the time it is night, I'm again back up. Mind is all fresh because I have been working the whole day and my mind was busy with work. But then nighttime is when I get back to all the thoughts that I'm trying to avoid the whole day. So yeah, my night also goes off without sleep. So that's how my day and night ends. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Aparna. Hope you will be fine soon and take enough rest. Yeah. So next, Srinivas, Toastmaster Srinivas, you want to take? So this is your topic. The real problem of leisure time is how to keep others from using yours. Toastmaster
So
Srinivas?
Priyanka, who is
Yeah.
this for?
Toastmaster Srinivas?
I think he's AFK right now.
Okay, so
We give it to Swapnil.
okay, Toastmaster Swapnil, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you share what was the quotation I just missed?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The real problem of leisure time is how to keep others from using yours. So it's pretty straightforward. First of all, when you use your timer or when you want to use it, just be like you should be intelligent enough to use it on your own self. So let's take an example. I'm going to some place or somewhere. I'm taking others in there, but oh, sorry. Like let's take you both are going for something, and you end up in the mall with your friend or something. But he tried to use you for like your time for like all his shoppings, maybe something else. चलना इधर के side चलते हैं, and that's all. But there was no productivity from your side. So be straightforward to the point where you don't want to get into involved with other stuff. So be clear with where you want to go, what you want to do, and how you want to do that. Instead of getting used by others, it's better to be straightforward. Simple. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. Now, who wants to pick? Rohit, Toastmaster Rohit Jain, are you there? Aditya. Hello. Yeah. Can you speak? Yeah, I'll share one topic.
Yeah, it'd be great if some of the guests.
Yeah.
The Master Aditya, you want to give it to his? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Toastmaster Aditya, are you there?
I can take it in case there's time.
Aditya, I don't think you're audible.
Wait,
Barely.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, what was the question again?
Yeah, this is one memes. Yeah, it's rest day. Now what?
You just go back.
Yeah, you can talk about this.
No, I didn't get the question. Could you just go back?
You can't see the screen.
I can see the screen, but wait, is that it?
Okay.
Aditya, you can talk about anything that comes to mind when you saw
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no particular question. It's open to your interpretation.
Yeah, I think I understand the question here, which talks about when you have free time, you don't know what to do with it. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the, yeah. So, okay, ironically speaking, I'm a guy who actually knows what to do in his free time. sometimes. But what I'd say was that many a times, in order to pass the time, I would just watch something on Netflix or Hotstar or read any comic books that I have in my room. But other than that, sometimes it's only for temporary satisfaction. But my satisfaction runs out pretty quickly when accompanying myself with such these activities. And but sometimes I guess what's more important is spending time with your family, going out, spending time with them. Whether it's going out and playing a sport, or going to a restaurant, or just visiting a mall, or any of your other grandparents. That's one thing that never tires out when you have so much free time. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Aditya. Okay. So, Monica, Toastmaster Monica.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I will give it. Yeah. You can speak about this.
Okay, I'll go with what I can think of.
Yeah, sure.
So I think when most of the time when you're idle or when you don't have anything to do, you actually, it's like the idle's mind is a devil's workshop and you don't have much going on. So it's good to have a hobby or something to look forward to or to do every day, which is something that even I try to like, even I want to incorporate or imbibe in my life right now. So you should have something to do, maybe paint something or draw, or just listen to music, go out, make some plans with your friends. So I think that really refreshes your mind and you get the sense of change every time. So I think it is important to have a hobby and to also like be able to like do something each and every day. And I really believe in this, and I think it's something that each and every one of us should try to incorporate.
Thank you, Monica. Devi Prashad, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Actually, by seeing that image, one thing came into my mind was
No, I will
generally.
I will give you next topic.
No, let him
Okay.
speak about the topic that he's comfortable with.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can speak.
So generally, what we perceive is that today's a new day. We have to do something new, but our mind will be open. But later on, we again think that what we have to do. Like it's like an open mind with an empty thoughts. So that's Rainer would like to say, the open mind with an empty thought. So we feel like doing something, but we never do anything. Yeah.
So, do we have more time?
Yeah, I think we have time for one couple of more. We can have Saurabh next.
Okay, Saurabh. Okay, so Saurabh, are you there? Hello.
It's okay. Let's call Toastmaster Srini next.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. That a lot of people who expect too much from life and who take too much beyond their capacity, they go through this burnout. What happens is, most of the times, it is not the problems around us. How we react to the problems is what matters. The burnout basically happens when we don't see the problem as a problem. We think that problem cannot be solved most of the time, and in the bargain, we end up with an anxiety that this problem can affect our life. It can affect our future. It can affect maybe family. It can affect our health. So many other things. When we try to identify the problem with our life, then it can create a havoc. But if you treat problem as something that is outside of you without emotionally attaching to the problem, then it will not affect anybody. Rest, losing your health, and this stuff. That is my perspective. In fact, even I'm also learning to deal with it. A lot of problems that I come across in the office, I try to not deal with emotionally, whether it may be the people problem, or having to deal with the bosses, having to deal with the work. If you don't take it personally, if you don't take it emotionally, it's very easy to deal with any situation or any problem. Like they say, life is not very difficult. It is just, if you understand it, it's very easy to live. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinivas. Good thoughts. Toastmaster Ganesh, you want to speak?
It's fine. Let somebody else have a go. I think Toastmaster Shashidhar.
Yeah, Toastmaster Shashidhar. Yeah, I'll share.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
My goal is to build a life I don't need a vocation from.
Vacation from.
Vacation.
Vocation, right?
Vacation.
A holiday from.
Holidays.
Yeah. What a wonderful topic, and I can relate to this topic through the previous topic, the burnout part of it. And okay, so to begin with, most of us, and I believe that quite firmly, is we don't live in now. We are usually living in past worries and future insecurities. And that's where I tend to think that if you're not fully living in the awareness of the present moment, you're basically not living your life wholesomely. Now, coming to that, so if you have to live your life wholesomely, so you need to enjoy that particular moment. And if you create a series of moments which is enjoyable to you, you will create a life which is 100% you are engaged with. And that is where we keep talking about getting away from burnout. You need to go to some place and give yourself a space, my time, and everything. And that's what the vacations and the holidays are all about: is finding the time for your space. But you are the protagonist for your own life. You are the director, actor, and everything included to create your life. And that's what we sometimes forget, that all these things what we are doing are driven by the aspirations of people around you, are driven by the envy and the jealousies and your wish list of the people who are around you. And that's where the problem happens. I personally believe that if you can dig deeper within yourself, find what makes you happy, and start working towards it, and I'm sure that you will be able to create an environment and a moment and your life which you will be fully engaged. If you always think about how the other people perceive you, you are not creating your own life, you are basically creating their life and trying to live their life. And that's where the problem comes. And I believe 100%, if you can find your passion, if you can find the blissful thing what you do, and if you can find something which is the space where you don't have anything else to think about, is the life which will be a kind of a holiday throughout. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Toastmaster session.
Okay, Toastmaster Priyanka, we have a topic for you. Yeah. I mean, the last one has to be given by the Toastmaster, table topic master himself, right? Or herself in the observation. Cool. Let me share screen. Tell me when you guys can see it. Share screen. Desktop 2.
Falling off our roof as a kid. Right. I am not right. Looking in a wet person in the okay. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Apurv, for this is very nice topic. So as what I understood from that, as a kid, we can do anything, but like we are okay, there is no pain and all. And in 30s, we are just doing different positions, sleep or something different, and we are getting more like our body is getting old, so we are not recovering very easily. Yeah, but I think for as if I think about my perspective, my for me it is different. I feel in now I am more active than I am my previous years, 20s kids. As a kid, I am very silent and all, didn't do much activities. But now I am like I can do anything. My body became so flexible, and it all became last 2 years. I make myself more flexible. I can do any work, any kind of exercise or anything, and I don't get tired so easily. Like I feel like a kid. So I think, yeah, that's all. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Cool. Thank you then. Let's get back to the TMOD session and roll it up pretty quickly. Tell me when you guys can see this screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So now let's talk about active recovery. So generally when we think about recovery, it's sleeping around and just letting your body recover. But there's actually a faster way to get your body to recover. For example, let's say you have gone and worked out, or let's say you have been sitting on your desk the entire day, right? And now your body is sore at 20 different places. You've come back from a long car ride or had a long flight. And after that, you need to have something called as active recovery. Now, what is active recovery? So active recovery is basically using low intensity movements to increase blood flow. Basically, bring oxygen rich blood to your tissues and help remove the cellular waste a little fast. So what do you mean by low intensity is basically where you get between 30 to 60% of your overall heart rate. Right? Why does it help? Because let's say you are in a car for let's say 10 hours or something, or let's say in a flight for about 12 hours. So you have your muscle cramps and your body is generally tired from sitting in the same place. Lactic acid has built up in one section of your body or the other. Right? So by having these low intensity, you basically make the muscles pump a little more. You make your heart pump a little more blood through those things and basically flush away all the toxins. And this is overall faster than just simply sitting on a couch. And all of us who work out and all of us who even can't work out or just like normal lives and we are not actually working out, to us also active recovery is helpful. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you're sitting on a couch the entire day, the lactic acid buildups and the waste buildups in your cell needs to be pumped out. It doesn't just come out on its own. You have to squeeze the cell for it to come out. Imagine like wringing a wet cloth, like a towel. You have to wring it and let all the water come out, right? That is what active recovery does. So how do you do active recovery? Right, so active recovery, simple examples of it will be, let's say, on an everyday basis, if you're walking 10,000 steps a day, or after in the evening, you're going on long walks. And by long, I mean at least 45 minutes to an hour. So these activities where you are able to get your heart pumping a little more, but also be able to speak while doing these exercises, these help with that. Yoga is an amazing way of doing this. Why? Because yoga has a way of making our body stretch and bend. Sorry. Yoga has a way of stretching and bending and making sure that our muscles do get squeezed. Like all the stretching and flexibility, that's how you get. Massage, the basic point of massage is to squeeze your muscles and let the toxins and the soreness and the knots come out. So active massage is a massive part of active recovery, which is why you see a lot of these athletes, they have these massages right after, let's say, their athletic sport. Like you would probably, if any of you watch cricket or football, you would see people getting their hamstrings stretched and vibrated so that, they're during the breaks, so that these things. Now, slow dancing is an amazing thing. Like it's just weird, but it's there. It's movement and it's also closeness. So basically, when you're slow dancing, let's say alone or with your partner, just by being with someone else here increases serotonin and oxytocin in your body, which gives you that good feeling, and endorphins rush into you. And of course, because you're also moving, it helps. Swimming is also amazing. Swimming is massage and walking and slow dancing and like everything else combined. Because when you go underneath the water, like the water pressure squeezes your muscles and it helps you relax. So any of you here who have swum before, you would understand the moment you come out of a swimming pool, it feels amazing. Like it's like you can breathe again. And since all of us actually live in buildings and places where swimming pool is actually pretty common now, or actually have easy access to swimming pool, I would really recommend swimming at least once a week on your off day. Casual cycling, now this is really weird for a place like Bangalore because it rains every time and you get all yucky and mucky every time you go out and cycle. So casual cycling is not getting into that gear and then getting with their team and going out and cycling for like 20 kilometers or something. No. Casual cycling is basically cycling at the speed of about 8 to 12 kilometers an hour. Kind of like how you used to do when you were a kid and you're just going from one place to another. And it's not a competitive sport. This is just letting your heart pump. You can do this even on a stationary bicycle in your building's gym or wherever gym you go to. Either way, 3 of these that I would really recommend all of you guys to do was at least walk 10K steps a day. That's why all of us have activity trackers. Yoga. There are 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes yoga videos available on the internet with millions of views. These guys are good. Follow them and do that 20 minutes of yoga. If not anything else, slow dance with your partner. Come on. If not anything, it'll at least get the fireworks starting. And swimming if you can. So that brings us to the end of my monologue. And I'm gonna stop sharing now. I know how, but this is not allowing me. What the hell? Give me a second, guys. This is not allowing me to stop share. Cool. Cool then. Thank you. And over to you, General Evaluator. For the next part.
Thank you, Abu. It was a great session, and for enlightening us for all this knowledge. It's pretty like I really enjoyed the session. And let's take it to next phase. Let's go with evolution of first one is Ekta. So there's a cell phone. So I'm calling Srinivas, who is the evaluator for Ganesh, Srinivas, right? No, Ganesh, yeah. So I'm calling Ganesh for the feedback of Ekta. Over to you, Ganesh.
Toastmaster Srinivas for
Toastmaster Srinivas.
For yes, Ganesh.
It's okay. Yeah, Toastmaster Srinivas, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. Once again, good morning, everyone, and congratulations on completing your level 1 P2 speech Toastmaster Ekta. Very well done. I'll quickly tell you what you have excelled at. You are fully comfortable and fully at ease with the audience. Your body language was very optimal and perfect for the topic. You started asking a question, which is a relevant question, and everyone has experienced with that question. Usually asking a question which everyone is familiar with instantly connects you with the audience as well. And they've all have gone through what you've mentioned during the COVID lockdown. Very well done there. And you ended your speech with a suggestion to all the audience to read a book. The language was very simple, clear, and easy to understand, and it was without any distortions. You are very comfortable using the stage. That's what you excelled at. Some of the points that you may want to work on is pauses and intonation. While the topic doesn't require you to use a lot of vocal variety, however, the speech objective requires you use high and low pitch voices, intonation, and other stuff. And to create some interest in audience, we can use some pauses after you deliver a sentence that requires audience to digest and absorb. You may want to work on those 2 points. And to challenge yourself next time, you can probably start with a quote, or a nice quote, or a question that requires audience to respond. While you've asked a question to the audience, there were not many responses, but you can ask an open question where everybody you take feedback or requires the audience to respond. That way they're attentive and they'll connect with you very well. And there should be a giveaway or a learning that every speech should give to the audience. If it's not a humorous speech, people expect something to learn from the speech. Hence, summarize the points from your speech in 1 or 2 points while you conclude the speech. And also next time, choose a topic. I know that you are not given a lot of time. So choose a topic that aligns with your objective. So you can do justice to the topic and give your best. Sometimes what happens is the objective and the speech are too different. However good the speech is, as you wouldn't have met the objectives. So that way, if they both align, you can give your best. And since the vocal variety and body language is the core of public speaking, if possible, please give this speech again during an offline session next time, anytime, whenever it's possible. And use this feedback to incorporate that and give the speech. You can pick up any other speech or give the same speech with the same objective. That will help you very well with this objective. With that, it's a great speech. You are very natural. We all like your stage presence. It's like you've been a teacher for 20-30 years. That's how you speak when you're on stage. Very comfortable. The language is so nice, very simple to understand. Perfect in many ways. All the best to you. Over to Toastmaster Swapnil.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinivas. Let's go for the evolution of second speech. Over to you, Sachidhar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil, for the opportunity, and thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh, for giving me the opportunity to evaluate you, which is I'm not really qualified for. And coming after Toastmaster Srinivas' evaluation, I'm actually feeling quite into a corner. But anyway, I am going to attempt to put some thoughts around what you have done. A wonderful job of speaking about raising a toast to your esteemed professor, which was very, very wonderful. And I love the way you started with the quote from Kipling and adding one more element to it, which was very good. Nice storytelling and creating. Actually, within my mind, I could see the classroom where you were so engrossed, people sitting on the windows and other stuff, so which was very good. You brought it quite well. Also, use of your copper rod of any metal and the body language what you had, and using the cup as a prop along, as well as in the end you raised the toast with the cup, which was very good, and I loved it. And also I loved the way you came back to camera when you're talking something very interesting or very powerful. Coming closer to the camera was a good point. So that was wonderful. Your speech was 3 to 4 minutes. I don't want my evaluation to go beyond 3 to 4 minutes, but I really wanted to hear you more because your vocal variety, the way you uh, carry yourself when you're on stage is wonderful, and which all happened here in this particular short speech what you gave, Toastmaster Ganesh. Having said that, your voice modulation was very clear and enjoyed the way you brought in reverence into your voice when you're talking about your esteemed professor, which was very good. Now, one or two things which I would like Toastmaster Ganesh for you to kind of note. One is that you are a stage speaker, and you need your stage. You need the large spaces to move around. But this time you put the camera down and stood up. It basically still your movements, and so your movements were not as effective. I will not say effective. They were quite effective, but not as good as you usually do, which I have seen happening. So that's something which actually restrained your movements. I think you should be going back just like Toastmaster Ekta did when she was giving her speech. Secondly, I personally believe that you enjoyed, and I enjoyed personally as well as you also enjoyed the kind of reverence you brought into your voice modulation and the stuff. But I somehow felt it was not reflecting on your face. I think the emotiveness was slightly missing, and I think you should be bringing that in, which was kind of make it more powerful and more rememberable than this speech what you gave. But it was very, very interesting. The content was very good, and your reminiscence of all these things what you brought in from your childhood or the college days was fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for that. And over to you, Toastmaster Swapnil.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Toastmasters
Toastmaster.
Shashidhar. It was a great evolution, and I'm happy what Ganesh been taken from that. Now, let's go for the timer roll to Apu for the timer. Apu.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Sapnil. Let me share my screen and we'll quickly go over the time. I'll not take a lot of time. Screen visible?
Yeah, visible and audible.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So Toastmaster Ekta, you took 6 minutes 35. Your overall time was 7 minutes. It was expected. So try to next time. Obviously, I know you make the speech just last night, but yeah, try to use between 7 and 7:30, like, because there's a lot more time available to you, and it gives a lot more time for you to kind of show your flair. Toastmaster Ganesh, 3:43, and your time was 2:34, correct? And well used time. I mean, you had 15 more seconds. You could have gone on a bit more. That's okay. Let's talk about table topic sessions. Now, Toastmaster Aparna was one of the few people who actually took the almost 2 minutes. Rest of you guys, Swapnil, Aditya, Monica, you guys were not really close to this. I mean, you took Monica took 1 minute for 3 seconds, just a little more than required. Toastmaster Devi, you took 34 seconds. This is below 1 minute, and so this is disqualified. Toastmaster Shashi, you were amazing in your speech, but 6 minutes over time. So you need to have just 6 minutes, 6 seconds less, and it would have been amazing, because 2:30 is basically the disqualification time. Priyanka, she's already left, but again, she still took about 32 seconds too less. So the learning here for all of us here is, look at the timer. We have our cards going on for you. Please try to at least reach the red card. Use your entire time. You have a lot of time. Go slow if you want to. So that's all from my end. Thank you. And over to you, General Evaluator Swapnil.
Thank you, Apu. Let's go for the R counter.
Hi.
Yeah, Monica.
Hi, I'll be the counter evaluator. So, Swapnil, you used 3 I mean, the count is 3. There were R's and ums. 4, Priyanka 7. You used I, and R. These were the ones that I actually found. Yeah. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monica, for amazing feedback. So this is time for me to give a little bit feedback before we wrap up everything. See, first of all, the meeting start like 5 minutes late, which might be some technical issue out there. And afterwards, like we still like 2 minutes. It should get in by 11:30, but we still far away, like 2 minutes. Maybe it's going to end in next 5 minutes. And second, which is generic feedback I want to give. I feel like I am disconnected in the meeting. Like I'm not connected with all of you people over here. I feel like this can be like everything, like most of the like 3 to 4 cameras are closed, and I like maximum cameras is being closed over there. And I feel like this is a regular meeting which we use office, which is happening. Like this is not a not this feedback is not for today. It's been feedback like I'm analyzing from last 3 months, because I'm really active in the Toastmasters. So I feel like the same, like from last 3 months, like I'm disconnected in the meeting, which is for online. If I say off online, I'm sorry, offline. I feel like I'm really connected with all of you and everything. So here there are something like some gap, I feel like, between all of us. Why it is happening, I still doesn't know. Like it should get connected a little bit, whatever there is a like thin line or thin something that is missing in this kind of meeting. And yeah, second point which I seen from last 3 months, which is next thing, like people are not 100% attentive over online meetings. Like it's like 65-45. Like so it can increase a little bit ratio, like 80% and 20%. Maybe you parallel doing some work, but can you be a little bit more attentive over here? So this is my feedback. Over to you, Ganesh. This is the last thing which I have wanted. Thank you, Ganesh.
Great. Hey, thanks, Toastmaster Swapnil. I think it's been a fantastic session, and perhaps this is a good time before I hand over to the VP at Toastmaster Apur to say the final closing remarks.
Yep.
Maybe it's a good time for me to take some feedback particularly from our guests. Any comments or thoughts from you guys? Please volunteer, or maybe I could ask Toastmaster Rohit, you're a guest, or Toastmaster Monica, please.
Yeah, sorry. I think my mic was not working earlier when my name was called out for impromptu session, but then sorry about that. But I think it was a great session, since this was my first meeting here, and I think I enjoyed the session, listening to all of the amazing speakers, and it was really good. And I think, yeah, I mean, overall, a good experience for me for being the first time member, I would say.
Thanks, Toastmaster Rohit. And maybe Toastmaster Monica, you want to go next? And also please tell us what we can do better. Yeah.
I've attended once before as well, the online session, and I've liked it. It's great. Yeah, I think maybe from next time all of us will turn on the camera. I'm actually outside, so I haven't done that. I'm in a car, so I didn't want to turn my camera on, but yeah, that's one thing we can do. And overall, I did like the complete session, and I don't have any major changes or concerns. So I think overall, I think it's a great experience.
Thank you very much. And we currently have alternate sessions offline. So the next session on 31st will be in-person offline meeting at the Meadows Amenities Club. Everybody is most welcome to join in, and look forward to meeting everybody here. And yeah, if anybody else wants to volunteer, this is the time before I hand over to Toastmaster Apur. Okay. So over to you, TMOD, as well as the Toastmaster, as well as the VP at Toastmaster Apu. What a wonderful session and great insights and learnings today. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh. And thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil, for your observations. So let's talk about the VP Ed. So basically, we have started a new XCOM team about 2 weeks ago. And to do that, we have collected the list of members and all those things that we have. I'll be reaching out to each one of you individually pretty soon and try to figure out where exactly we can help you in your Toastmasters journey, because Toastmasters is just not about giving speeches and public speaking. That is basically the first step. There's a lot of leadership opportunities and learning that Toastmasters can give you, which is why most of us probably are here.
Yep.
Cool.
Sure.
So I will be reaching out to all of you. We'll need to connect with each other. So I need like a 15-minute slot with you somewhere during the week, and this will kind of help us get the club to a better position, and more than that, help you reach whatever Toastmaster goals and whatever self goals that you have, that Toastmasters can help you. So that's on my end. Second, let's have a quick roll call. Toastmaster Ganesh, we can do it right now.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Sure.
So let's have a roll call for next week. Does anybody here want to be the team mod next week? Toastmaster Ekta, Aparna.
I'll take it up, Apu.
You want next week? Okay, so team mod is Aparna. Okay, now let's going for speaker slots. So we will be, by the way, we'll be having 3 speaker slots from now on, because I want all of us to be giving a speech at least once a month, right? And the objective will be that like if let's say 3 people are there, and if one person kind of backs off for whatever reason, one of the XCOM has to step in. So everyone in the XCOM in this team, please have at least one speech in your back pocket ready from this day forward. So speaker slots, who wants a speaker slot next week? Shashi, Toastmaster Shashi, one for you. Who else? Ekta.
And you know, I can also do the social speeches. 2 of them are to be done in succession, so I can do the second one, the 3 to 4 minutes if available.
Perfect. So we have Toastmaster Shashi, Toastmaster Ekta, and Toastmaster Ganesh for next week. We'll figure out your evaluators, but does anybody want to take up their evaluations right now?
We'll put it in the group.
I will put that in there. So evaluators we can figure out. Next, most important one is the table topic master. Does anybody here want to take up table topic next week? Ekta, you're already giving a speech. So just give me a minute. We'll take it next time. Toastmaster Srini.
Keep me as a backup. If I'm there, I will take it up.
Okay. Swapnil, you want to be the KTM next week?
I can do that.
Cool. So remains is general evaluator and tag team. We'll figure that out. If nobody's available, I can become the general evaluator and we'll figure out the tag team on the fly.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Everybody, if you can start your videos for like just 2 minutes, we'll take a photo op and then we'll be on our Sunday afternoons. Rohit, Monica, Devi, Saurabh. Monica's flexing on us with her car. It's okay. Saurabh, you want to come online?
That's fine. Yeah.
That's okay. I'll take a screenshot. Then.
Yeah.
Everybody smile.
Thank you.
Perfect. Got it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
Okay, great. All the best. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.